Thanks for everybody coming. Another week. Just, you know, we got to find a way to get out there and get a win. Really, we got 2 games left in the season. Still, like I talked to our team about, I mean, we've got to come out and, number one, prove to ourselves to come out here and end the season strong and get a couple wins against 2 really, really good football teams. So we've got our challenge, cut out for us this week. Feel like Youngstown's really as good as team in the league when they play at their best. So they've lost a lot of close games. They've had 2 overtime games, one against Pittsburgh, one against North Dakota State. So it's a quality opponent that, and we feel like still, I stand up here and say this, we have a good football team. Now we've got to go out there and do that. After watching the film against Missouri State, we just felt like we got on our own way. I mean, we had 7 penalties, 15-yard penalties. The last 2 weeks, we're getting beat in the turnover margin 7-0. You're just not going to beat any teams like that. I talk about the margin of error. We show the guys. Had a really good day yesterday of really diving into the film and taking ownership of what we all got to do to get better. And like I told them, it starts with me. It starts with the coaches. We just have to, our attention to detail on every small thing matters. And unfortunately, the last 2 weeks we haven't performed well in that category. And we've got to get back on track at senior day. I can't say enough about what this senior group, there's 14 of them, have done for the program, and they get to suit it up one more time in Saluki Stadium. That means a lot to everybody. Nobody more than me, because I appreciate those guys because they give us everything they've got every single day. I can go on and on about those guys. So we'll line up, and we're going to play as hard as we ever have and look to play our best game.
You've seen the film last 2 weeks. Do you think that teams are cheating up on us and not respecting our long passing game?
No, I don't think so. I mean, what we see on film is what we usually get. They don't, maybe a thing or 2 different, but our league is good. They run their defenses, what their scheme is, and they execute it. I mean, we see a lot of aggressive defenses, guys that'll challenge us, some cover one, and each team brings their own phases, but I wouldn't say that anybody's not respecting our long ball. We probably throw it to those outside guys as much or anybody in the league.
Is the 2 quarterback rotation something you plan on using the rest of the season?
Yeah, we'll just, we'll dive into it and see what gives us the best opportunity to win the game. And both of them will be ready to play, and both of them did good things in the game. So they're really 2 different type of quarterbacks. So they'll both have their packages the next 2 weeks.
Did you like how the ball moved when DeSober was in, though? I mean,
Yeah.
You didn't put him in really a lot of difficult situations.
Yeah, no, I thought, Matt did a good job. He had 16 rushes, was our leading rusher, was 9 out of 12 throwing the football. So he did a lot of great things. He really did. I've said this over and over. I said it before last week. I mean, Matt's a good quarterback, and he had about 5 days of preparation going into a conference game to dive back in. He hasn't been in the meeting room all season on offense, so he's been over playing safety and having a few run plays that he's been running since he's been here, so he doesn't really have to practice them, over and over, and he's in on the read. So now that's the first week he's been in the quarterback room, so his package will continue to grow and what he feels comfortable with. We did a good job of meeting with him and things that he was not comfortable running in the game, as far as the reads and checks, different things like that. So we had a good package that he felt comfortable with, and that'll continue to grow.
So how do you look at, I guess, you mentioned you didn't really want to air it out as much because you were concerned about your protection. So how do you get your receivers involved in the football?
I don't know if it was that, like the protection. I mean, we had 500 yards of offense. We had more first downs than them. That's 2 weeks in a row. We've had more yards. We've had more first downs. We've had more trips to the red zone, and we're not winning football games. So I don't think it's anything to do with what we're calling or moving the ball. We've got to execute when the time comes. We've emphasized it, and we've got to do a better job of emphasizing it and executing those things. Like before the half, you're at the 10-yard line with a minute to go and it's first down, and you've got to come away with points right there. Number one, you got to score. It's really a 17-point swing. If we score there and they don't have any time to go down and kick a field goal, and then we score on our opening drive of the second half, that's a big swing right there. We've got the lead and we've got 30 minutes to play, but it's not, we didn't do that. So I don't think it's, anything. We had a number of plays called, shot plays called for our receivers that, Tanner scrambled on one, did a good job scrambling, but felt like we had a post open. Throughout the game, I mean, we throw the ball more than anybody in the league. Maybe we're up there. So we've still got all those same plays in, and we'll continue to do a good job of trying to get everybody the ball.
Defensively, you've given up some explosive plays the last couple weeks, and Youngstown obviously a pretty good quarterback. So how do you try and limit that this week?
We just have to, same thing. I mean, it's fundamentals. It's we've got to, play really well at times and then give up some big plays. So we just have to all do better. I wish I had a better answer. I mean, we're not going to change things up drastically. We have to make tackles when tackles are there. We had 5 15-yard penalties on defense, 3 of them on third down. That's 11 15-yard penalties in 2 games, and I think 7 of them on third down. Missed tackles on third down. So, we're right there to make the play, and then we've got to put them in maybe a better position in a couple calls. But we just have to go out and execute. It sounds boring. I've said that all season, but it's about executing the call that's made and going out and making plays.
Everybody in the league wants to run it, but what does Youngstown do really well when they try to run the football? I mean, they're going to try to run 40 times, 50 times if they have to. Do they do anything drastically different than the other teams you play? No, they just commit to doing it. That's their style. They're going to play. They're always going to play great defense with Coach Pelini's scheme. It makes you really work, and so they know they have a good defense year in and year out, and they're going to run the football and commit to running the football and play that type of game. And the same schemes. There's only so much you can do in the run game. You're going to run zone. You're going to run power, gap scheme, or zone scheme, or same thing. You got some outside runs to try to stretch it out, and so we've seen it all. Now you've got to go out and, like them. I mean, there's no tricks about it. They just, when they're running the ball well, they're executing and they're getting a hat for a hat, and then they have really good running backs, which makes them tough to stop.
Number 4 on their defense, Reed. He's got sacks, pass deflections, fumble recoveries. I mean, he's a guy that can beat you in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, I mean, they're talented. When you lose 2 draft picks at defensive end, and then you still have probably 2 of the best defensive ends in the league. Now, he's been hurt the last several games, so I don't know if he'll be back or not, but we'll prepare like he is. But the guys that have come in that have replaced him are just as good. So, they're talented on defense. That's their staple, is to play great defense. They make it difficult for you to find space, and they're going to challenge you at receivers. There's nothing easy. Since I've coached against Coach Pelini now 2 years, it's tough sledding. You've got to work for all your yards, and you got to make plays. And you're going to have to make some contested throws. Last year, whenever we got rolling a little bit, they're not easy plays. Billy Reed made some back shoulder throws. Sam made some tough plays. Israel made some tough catches. It wasn't like you've got guys wide open and you've got So they make it tough for you. Our work's cut out for us, and we understand that.
What did their offense do? Did they do anything differently against Indiana State? I know Indiana State isn't the best team in the world, but did they do anything differently to score that many points?
No, they just, they executed, and they've played a few different quarterbacks this year and did a good job. And, I mean, they just don't run the football. They've got a good play-action game, and they throw the football. And this is a team that played in the national championship last year with a lot of those guys back. So, nothing different, nothing that we haven't seen before. I mean, this league, once you get to the last 2 games of the season and you play in this league, you've seen about every scheme and what you got to stop. Now it's about going out and executing, playing. I mean, it's going to come down to, we can talk about it, and for us to take that next step, we got to become a better, sound football team. I mean, we can't give up kick returns. We can't give up 7 15-yard penalties. We can't turn the ball over twice and give them the ball at the 15-yard line. We can't turn it over at the 10 when you got to have a score before half when you got the ball. Though that's what's standing between us with 2 extra wins this season and going and playing for the playoffs. Not anything to do with what schemes everybody's running or what plays we're calling. It's about executing and being smart, fundamental, good football team.
Certainly.
Could you talk some more about that play, the interception again in the first half? I mean, that was a big play. You're happy with what was called?
Yeah, I mean, Ralph's one-on-one. We run some plays that are run pass options. Tanner can hand the ball off there, and just you got to give him a shot where it's our ball or nobody's ball. You got to throw it up to Ralph's, a tall receiver in the red zone, and we left it inside, and he kind of shoved him out of bounds. Ralph went out of bounds, so there was nowhere to put the ball. Same type of stuff that Roman's been getting called for the last 2 weeks. But it still should have been up and out and thrown just a better ball. I mean, you got to know when you choose to throw the ball, you got to take care of the football. Where it's our catch or nobody's catch. Now it's 2nd down, and we're still rolling, and we just can't turn the ball over.
Your running back in the first half, they got hurt. How did he get hurt?
Just rolled his ankle, just getting tackled, and they took him to get X-rays, and then he was up and ready to go in the second half, but we just he was gone for so long, and so he's going to be limited a little bit, but we should have him for the game.
Did a big guy just fall on him at the end of that play?
I didn't really see exactly what happened. He's probably, just got rolled up, and it was just a ankle sprain, and they took him to get checked out.
Certainly, you mentioned the turnover by Herm that led to short field stuff, but this was another team loss. I mean, you went ahead of them, and then the defense had to do their job, and they went down and scored. So it's everybody contributed to the loss.
Yeah, I mean, every loss, every win is like that in football. It's always going to be that way. I mean, you can point to a bunch of different things, but we can't continue to put our defense in those spots where you got to go 15 yards to get a touchdown. Or now the defense knows that their mentality is it doesn't matter where you get the ball, you've got to. So right there, the goal is make them kick a field goal, and we get them to 3rd and 3 and miss a tackle and they score. So if we, the touchdown on the wheel route, it's 3rd and 8. If we defend that and they've got to kick another field goal, now it's another. So 2 of their touchdowns came on 3rd down, and that's we have to finish drives. We got to get them off the field. We have to get off the field. And like I said, unfortunately, we haven't done that the last 2 weeks. There's a million things that you could point to, not just, hey, one thing. It's the one key thing, though, I know, and is turnover margin. We've got to get turnovers, and we can't turn it over. And we haven't done that the past 3 weeks.
after meeting with them on Sunday, did you feel like they turned the page, or at least I guess they're still with it this week? I mean,
Yeah,
kind of
definitely.
starting
That's what I mean. We were all hurting. Those guys were hurting in the locker room after the game, and probably waking up on Sunday and coming in here and watching the film and seeing the opportunities that we let slip away. That's not a good feeling. But that's what you have to do. I mean, that's life. You got to turn the page. You got to stay together. And so I don't question anything. Those guys, Ryan Neal, Hans, Cam, Marquise Jackson, those guys have been around here and put a lot of work, and you get to go back out there in front of your fans one more time. You're going to play hard, and those guys, that's just the makeup of who they are. So, yeah, they were hurting yesterday, but they got a day off today, and they worked hard and had a good lift, and we ran outside, and everybody was full go, and they'll come ready to get the game plan tomorrow and go out and have a great week of practice.
You're not where you are record-wise this season, where you want to be at least, but statistically you look at the categories and you're beating your opponents in a lot of them. Does that show improvement for you this season?
I think that we're taking the right step. We're learning a lot about what it takes to win. I mean, I wish the record was different. We're right there to win 2 more games and be with 6 wins right now instead of 4, and fighting for a home playoff game, whatever it is. The margin for error is small, and I think that we're learning a lot about our team, what it takes to win football games has still been what the difference is those small things. Not necessarily, we're young in a lot of areas, and we're going to continue to recruit well. Feel like we've recruited as good as anybody in those 2016 and 2017 kids that are playing, and we'll continue to do that. But I know that we're the coaches and the commitment that these guys have, we're on the right path. I wish that it was different wins and losses wise, that we had those 2 extra ones, but yeah, there's been improvement, but there's still things that we wanted to prove that we've addressed that haven't improved or been maybe the same or gotten better, but then inconsistent. Still, I would say we're still an inconsistent football team that we've got to continue daily to get better at. And we're learning a lot about who we have and how we got to get better at that. And that's what I mean. It starts with me. I got to figure out ways that we communicate that we practice that we get that through to the guys, that when in crunch time we do make those plays, or we do, convert or not turn it over, so it's a work in progress. It really is, and we're committed to doing it. And I still believe 100% that this program has what it takes to win championships and in the conference. And I would say every coach in there believes and sees the same thing. So, and then we have two games that mean a lot to that. We can end 4-4 in the league in the Missouri Valley with 4 really good wins, and then. And that's what we're going to do. I mean, we're going to go out there, and they're important games, and there's a lot to play for. And these seniors can look back and, I don't know when the last time. We've got to win this one before we talk about 6. So we've got to, if you beat Youngstown, a team that played in the national championship, that's played everybody really good besides one game, Illinois State. This is a team that's a top 5 team. Probably, if they don't have 2 games not go their way. So it's a really tough opponent that we can go out and prove that we're right there, but we've got to go out there and do it.
Nico was your kicker Saturday. How comfortable of the field goal range do you feel inside of the 40 with him, or even closer?
Yeah, I mean, you looking back, we had the one that would have been a 39-yarder, middle of the field, but it was into the wind. There was a pretty good wind, for his first field goal attempt. I just didn't feel like that was the best position. I wish that I could sit up here and say that we would, but we've got to do it in practice too, and we got to be consistent. So we've got to get better at that. We've got to have the confidence that that's an automatic 3 points when we need them. And this is a game coming up this weekend that we're going to need all the points that we can get, and field goals will be big. So they got to have a good week of practice. But his leg strength, he can kick them from 40 when we kick them good. But we've got to be accurate, and it's got to happen consistently.
So Nico will be your field goal kicker, you think?
Yeah, probably so. Going into this week is, he didn't get a shot. He made all of his PATs, and he's been kicking the ball off good. That's like the return. That's a perfect kickoff. I mean, it lands at the goal line with his best hang time of the day, and we got to cover that kick. That's inexcusable. That's the difference between maybe winning that game and losing that game. We're up 7, we have a momentum, and then our momentum goes away within, 5 seconds of kicking the ball back off to him. So there's a lot of things that we can look at that we've got to get better at.
Cody Kreider's going to have to miss the first half of this game, right?
Yep.
How does that affect your team?
Well, I told him yesterday I hope he's like Chase Allen. The last time we played Youngstown here, Chase had to miss the first half, and then he came out and had 12 tackles and I think a blocked punt and a forced fumble, and we won the game in overtime after Chase came back. So I told Chase to text Cody and tell him that. But yeah, so I mean, we feel good. I mean, Marquise will start. Marquise Jackson plays a lot anyway, so our depth, and then the guys behind them got to be ready to come in and play in that first half, and then Cody will come back in the second half. So we feel good with our depth at linebacker that we'll get through it.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, appreciate it.